Why is it important to declutter and organize?
And you would be surprised what's not worth anything when you think it is.
I'm Noelle, and I teach thousands of real estate agents and investors every year. And we have Eric, who is a multi-million-dollar investor, commercial broker, and a commercial developer.
Ooh.
And we joined together to write our new book, Real Estate Investing Made Simple, Your Guide to Building and Growing Wealth. We come to you today and every day to teach you how to make money through real estate. So today we have Jeanine Pedersen, who is going to teach us how to declutter and put money in our pockets. Welcome, Jeanine.
Thank
Welcome,
you so
Jeanine.
much for having me. I appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
So you help people declutter and organize, right?
Correct.
And you said you started out by doing social media and then seeing things on Facebook Marketplace and like, why are they doing that? And then your friends were like, oh, wait, can you help me?
Absolutely. So friends would come to me and say, I know you love organization. I know you know how to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Will you do this for me? And it made their lives so much easier going forward. And then I realized, why don't I do this for a living? I
Okay.
love it. I love organization. I love, detoxing people's homes, giving people their best life.
Wow, I love that we're detoxing people's homes.
Yes.
I need to detox. I need to detox.
I've been in so many properties and houses that actually do have that toxic energy, and it's just because there's so much crap there. There's so much junk.
Now, that's even with investment properties, right? And like commercial properties. Am I right?
You can have junk anywhere. You could have a multifamily building that you're trying to rent out, and you could have a backyard that's just filled with junk. Too much stuff, too many swing sets, too many play toys, machinery, anything could be back there. And, people today have trouble visualizing. And, I think that's why getting rid of that junk, it lets people imagine what it could be. When there's so much stuff there, it just creates a block for people.
Now, why is it important from a realtor's point of view or from a commercial agent's point of view or from an investor's point of view? Why is it important to declutter and organize?
If you want to sell your house, how long till you're selling that house? If you give yourself 6 months, 8 months, 10, whatever it might be, you want to clean out before then because you can't stage the house if it's cluttered with everything. So what I find is I come in, declutter it, get it ready, and then when they're ready to sell, the house is ready to go and they can bring people in instead of trying to do it themselves, which I find they have an emotional attachment. Or they have a family member come in, don't sell that, don't sell this, it's worth money. And then they can never get the house ready for the realtor to come in and have the house
Sell
ready
it,
to be on the market.
I would agree with that. I struggle with items sometimes, and I'll actually perseverate over something. Should I throw this out? Should I not throw it out? To me, it's about attachments to family and past. Anything that I've purchased, I don't care. I can get rid of it, but it's stuff that I kind of inherited. That's a struggle point for me.
We have a tip for that, or I should say I have a tip for that, or I've talked with people about this and I have a tip for that. It's that take a picture of it. So if you have something that maybe it's a pair of shoes that your grandfather wore, but you're never going to wear them, but you can't throw them out, take a picture, and that way you always have that picture of it.
I don't know if a picture works.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, for me, it's the reason that I can't get rid of certain items. It's the memory that it triggers. And then I feel like if that item is no longer here, that memory will be forgotten. So I kind of like the picture idea. I can't say I've done
Depending what it is. Of course, depending what it is. But
Well, why do I need old shoes?
So when someone's buying a home or when someone's looking to buy a piece of property, is there a reason why they need to see the place decluttered?
Oh, sure. So space perception. So I always fight with my wife because she'll go to the store and she'll find this piece of furniture and she'll be like, I want this piece of furniture. We're going to put it here. And I can look at it instantly because I'm lucky I have the perception of space.
Okay.
And I can tell that that's not going to fit where she wants to put it. But she could find like a 10-foot dresser and think it's going to fit on a 6-foot wall. And I'll spend 3 days arguing with her that it's not going to work. So I literally have to show her the measuring tape or show her the piece, and then she realizes it. People don't have that perception. It's hard. So when you have so much stuff, you could have a massive house filled with crap and people are going to think it's small.
I definitely have that problem. You know how I got the fridge and we didn't really measure the fridge. So now my fridge is too big for the space that it's in. But I really like the fridge.
So Bob Vila used to say on his show, This Old House, measure twice, cut once.
Yes, I've
Right?
heard that before.
I like
didn't
to
do
say
it.
measure twice, buy once.
There you go.
So what is tip number 1 if I want to start decluttering so I can make that extra money?
Basically, to make the commitment, you know that you're moving. Hire someone or have a family member help you, but make that commitment, because if you don't start it, it's going to snowball and you're not going to get to it. And that's the longer that you're not going to be selling your home.
Do you need to have someone else? Like, would you be able to do this yourself?
So it's a struggle. You know,
Yeah.
you have to know who your spouse is if you're married, or who your team of people to work with. If things have gotten out of hand that badly, it's definitely better to hire someone.
Yeah.
Could I do it myself? Anyone could do anything themselves if they decide that they're going to do it. But as you know, in society today, that really isn't the case. So I recommend hiring someone to help you.
I think hiring someone makes so much sense because, so let's say you're a realtor and you see that your clients have a strained relationship of some sort, or maybe they're going through a divorce. Decluttering, like a divorcing couple trying to declutter together,
Yep.
not going to happen.
Yeah, no. It's not
So
gonna
you
happen.
hire a third party who doesn't care if it was great Aunt Martha's shawl and like throws it out because it's all eaten up with moths.
Right, because Aunt Martha's dead and she doesn't care
Right,
about her
she
shawl.
doesn't care about her
You know,
shawl anymore.
But I also feel like, Jeanine, you're like a therapist for people.
Right.
You help talk them through their clutter.
Absolutely. I've had that happen. And I'm like, we talk about it, why this piece is emotional. And if I feel like, then keep it. It's okay. You don't have to get rid of everything.
No,
But-
make them get rid of it.
Yep. But yes,
That's
it's
evil.
giving them the choice, of course. But as you said, some people just cannot do it. And I explain to them, make sure you're ready to commit to it.
Mhm.
They think they are, but a lot of times then they just take everything with
Do
them.
people cry?
Not yet.
Okay.
I haven't cried. I actually had a desk once that I had 2 of the same desk, and I was giving instructions to a team that was reorganizing and cleaning out a storage facility for us, and they misinterpreted the instructions and they destroyed one of the desks.
Aw,
And I like flipped out,
because it was
even though I had
important.
another one that was exactly the same.
Yeah, but did it come from like a family member? Or
Sort of,
some-
but I
yeah.
had another one, but I still flipped out over it.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, damn, it's so much lighter not having that desk. Like, I always joke, I'm like, can't I just have a flood where I'm forced to get
To
rid
do
of
it.
everything? It's so much easier when an act of God comes along
Well,
and
God forbid.
God forbid, but sometimes it's just easier to get rid of stuff.
It is easier. And I'm always an advocate of throwing things out. I love to throw things out. My husband does not. So interesting. Tip number 2.
That leads us into the next tip nicely.
Mhm.
So it's keep versus trash, sell versus donate, or all 4, a variation of all 4. So the homes that I've done, I've had that where all 4 come into play. Really, all 4 come into play. And that's where I come in. We're knowing what's worth getting rid of, what's worth selling, what you can donate. And this way you can free up your time because you have me there to do this with you, or I can do it on my own. I tell people if you're more comfortable and you're more OCD and want control of your things, then I'll do it with you. Not, I can do it on my own and go through it with them later.
So what makes it donatable? What makes you say, no, this has to be thrown out versus let me donate it?
If it's broken, if it's furniture, if it's
Mhm.
broken, if it's falling apart, if it's clothing, if it's stained, if it's ripped, nobody wants that.
Mhm.
Nobody wants that. So, I've even had clients say, oh, can't you get it dry cleaned? And no, just throw it out. Just throw it out.
If something's wrong with it, just
There's something
get rid
really
of it.
wrong with it, just throw it out. It can still have tags on it. I've had it happen. Very expensive items with tags on it, but they're ruined. Like you said, maybe something leaked, a flood or whatever,
Mhm.
and they didn't even know it, and it's ruined. And I said, just throw it out. It's a
Mhm.
shame, but it's hard for people to let it go. Very hard.
What would you find is the hardest for people to get rid of? What items?
Keepsakes,
Mm.
furniture, keepsakes, things of that nature. But even clothes, you'd be surprised. Well, I'm going to
Yeah.
wear that. I'm going to wear that. And I'm like, well,
I'm going to get back down to that size one day.
Yes.
No, you're not.
And how do you tell them that? But yeah, I think
You say, no,
keeps-
you're not, baby. God bless your heart.
But I would say keepsakes.
Once you get fat, you never go back.
I am not going to tell clients that.
Ozempic today. Come on, everybody's getting back into their old clothes.
But yeah, the keepsakes and the furniture.
Is there a process to the keep trash donate, sell? Is
Yes.
there what's the process?
Absolutely. So, excuse me, depending on the house size, I keep areas
Mhm.
and I'll go through it with them and I tag them. Just like, like a tag sale. I just like if someone was going to do a garage sale and I go through and I put Post-it notes on my best friend with a Sharpie and I go through and then if they're not working with me next, like side by side, then they come in and I'm like, look, this is what I suggest. Even when I work with auction houses, that's what they do. If I go to the next step to an auction house, they come in, they're like, no, not worth anything. And you would be surprised what's not worth anything when you think it is. Shocking.
Okay, next tip.
Okay, the next tip is hiring someone like myself lets you free up your time. So you can do the financial, you can do the family stuff, you can go through the photos, you can go through the keepsakes, the things that I won't be able to do because I don't know your emotional attachment. Plus, once you do that, it's going to happen a lot quicker. You will not be paying your gas and electric bills. You will not be paying the cable, the Wi-Fi, the landscapers, the cleaning people. You're not paying all those bills for 6-9 months. Well, if you're there and you're still trying to clean it out, everything still has to be on.
I've actually realized recently is, I'm 52 years old and I have a 16-year-old and a 10-year-old. They don't want anything. So all this stuff that means so much to me, whether it has value like my grandfather's camera collection or the crap the tools and all this stuff, my kids don't know what it is, don't know how to use it, and have
Now
zero
they
interest.
don't want anything, but as they get older, they might.
I ask them, I'm like, you have any interest in this? No. So I'm like, I'm putting all this time and effort and thought into this stuff that when I die, they're just going to throw it out or give it away or God only
They're
knows.
young. They don't know. They're going to want that camera collection, I swear.
Okay. If you say
Yes,
so.
they will. One of them will.
I've seen that as well because as a marketer, which is my background, going from like boomers to Gen X to Gen Z, Gen Alpha, millennials, like you go down the line and the boomers think everything's worth money and save. My kids and grandkids are going to want this. And then Gen X, millennial, Gen Z, Gen Alpha. Then you keep going down that line and they're like, no, we don't want it. We don't even know it. And like you said, they might want it later, but a lot of times they're just like, no, I don't want it. I've seen it happen in homes where they're like, oh, my daughter will take it or her daughter will take it. And then they come back to me, they're like, they don't want it.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, number 4.
Okay. Now that you're moving and you're decluttering, you're not taking this stuff with you.
Hallelujah.
So you're going and you're not paying more for the boxes, more for the mover, more for their time, more of your time when the stuff gets there. Also, your house is free. So when the people move in, they're happy. When you move to where you're going, you're happy. And instead of also, then you end up with a storage unit because you couldn't get rid of the stuff. There's another expense you're not going to have because you got rid of it before. And we all know, because we've all done it, including myself, you get that storage unit, you put everything in it. 5 years later, you still haven't looked through it. The price has gone through the roof and the stuff is still there.
Right. So I agree with you on that.
Hold on. And then you stop paying.
Stop
and
paying
then
for
someone
what?
auctions it. And then you get the Storage War TV show.
Oh, that's what they do.
Yeah.
That's where they get
People
all that
stop
stuff.
paying.
People stop paying, and then they auction off your stuff anyway. And which leads us into the next one because you could have gotten that money. What's your must-have? Wow, give it to me tip.
Okay. Well, for me, I have a formula to selling, which I
Okay.
can't give everything away, but I've been doing it for several years. And I use places like The Real Wheel, ThreadUp, Poshmark, auction houses, little stores, little vintage shops, places like that. And I know how to get the most for the product or for the most money in the smallest amount of time, in the least amount of time, because no one wants to wait 10 years to get the money back. So I have a formula, which, like I said, I don't give it all away, but I basically know where to go, what to do with the stuff that can be sold. And then you're going to make money, even though you're also, so maybe that money will pay for my services for your decluttering.
So basically, you're saying
Good point.
monetize your clutter.
Exactly.
Don't
Exactly.
just detox. Make money from your detox.
And then it's paying for other things. And you're saving the money by not bringing all of that with you and storing it somewhere.
So I think it's a really great idea for like a real estate agent or someone who has a client to bring someone like you in, right?
Definitely. That is my hope, because I want the people
And
that
help
really
their
need me.
clients. So
Yeah.
it gets everything going faster.
A decluttered home looks better
Yeah.
and it will sell for more money, hands down. And it'll sell faster too.
And you said you go to ThreadUp, The Real Real,
Poshmark,
Poshmark.
There's some other ones out there you have to join, so I stay away from those. But also vintage shops, consignment shops,
Facebook Marketplace.
Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
Sorry, forgot that one.
Good one.
Yep. Auction houses.
Yeah.
I have a friend who does a ton of flips, and he actually looks for stuff on Facebook Marketplace, because you can find someone selling restoration hardware lights that they paid $5,000 for and sell them for $1,000 on Facebook Marketplace.
Yep.
And that quality is better than anything you're going to get new anywhere else. And you can put that in a flip.
So I've asked a friend and they don't want to deal with my attitude. So now I have to go get the real guns, the professional guns like you, right?
Yes.
Where can I find you? On Instagram?
Yes, on Instagram at Dress to the J9s.
Okay.
And I call it Closet Detox by J9.
Wow.
Wonderful. We're going to put all of your information down in the comments. And what should they be doing?
Subscribing,
And
liking.
thanks for watching this episode. Now don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And we'll see you next time.